Sunday, everybody. I am glad you could be here with me, and whether you are here with me live or you're watching it a little bit later on, make sure that you click all the things and the thumbs and the bells, and let's get together every Sunday, almost every Sunday. I wasn't here last week, but let's get together every Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain so that we can learn a little bit more about keto. And today I am going to explain to you why I need to stop keto immediately because of the dangers of keto. Yeah, I know. I bet you never thought you'd hear me say that, and yet here I am saying it, and I am going to explain why. This past week, I was at a market with all of my TSL organic spices, and I had a lady come by, and she was with her friend. Her friend was asking me questions about my spices, and they noticed on the package that it said that all of my spices were keto friendly. And so we were talking about what that meant. And the one lady explained to me that it is absolutely essential that everybody eat carbohydrates every day because that's where your body gets its energy. And I said, well, that can be where your body gets its energy. However, there is another option. And for thousands of years, nobody was eating carbs. Nobody was eating grain for hundreds of thousands of years. The evolution of human beings, we didn't evolve because we had grain. Agriculture is, in the evolution of humanity, agriculture is a pretty new thing. 15,000 years, 17, something like under 20,000 years. So when you look at how long there have been humans on this planet evolving and how long they have been eating carbs, you gotta wonder. But she said, I had a friend who did keto and it killed her kidneys. It is so dangerous, the damage it can do to your kidneys and to your liver too. So I explained to her that I have been doing keto and I am celebrating this month because June of 2023, I have been doing keto consistently without a break ever, not even one, for 5 years. And after 5 years, here's what it has done to my body. It has reversed type 2 diabetes. So that's a terrible thing because now nobody gets money for paying a dietitian to learn how to cope with type 2 diabetes, buying medication for type 2 diabetes, because it isn't there. So, I lost it, and I didn't really lose it. I got rid of it. If you lose something, that tends to suggest that maybe you're going to look for it, and I didn't. I was down 160 pounds, but we've talked about that bit of weight that I gained after my surgery, but I'm on the way down again. It is amazing to me how many people will listen to one person. So they do a little bit of research and they find out how to do keto, how to figure out their macros, how to figure out, and then they have one friend or one stranger. I mean, in this case, this lady, very well intentioned, I will say that for her. She truly believed what she was saying, and she was truly concerned for my health and well-being, and the health and well-being of anybody who would do that incredibly dangerous keto diet. She had done no research. Her friend had done no research. And her friend ended up with kidney problems. Now, were those kidney problems because she was doing keto incorrectly? Were those kidney problems a pre-existing condition? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But here's what I do know. That is very similar to an epidemiological study where they look at a group of people and they say, okay, this group of people who live in this town, there is a substantial percentage of them that end up with lung cancer. So, therefore, living in that town causes lung cancer. No, that's not reasonable. So what is it that causes it? Well, I don't know, but if you are just looking at things that are, things that are not causative, you have to be able to do a study that makes sense. And I just read a medical study a little bit ago, and I told you about this, where they said keto causes metabolic syndrome. But when you read the study, they had everybody on incredibly high levels of carbohydrates. So they didn't have them on the keto diet. And this lady, as well-intentioned as she was, and truly, I am always thankful when someone takes the time to let me know what they believe. And if it's something that I haven't heard of, I am definitely going to do my research. But in this case, I definitely had heard of it. And there are articles, not studies, but there are articles out there that will tell you that keto causes fatty liver disease because you eat so much fat. Not true. Keto actually reverses fatty liver disease. Keto causes metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. Nope, actually exactly the opposite is true. And keto will kill your kidneys. Well, I want to talk to you specifically about kidneys today because when I was 3 or 4 years old, I had a type of kidney surgery. It was a very new surgery because of a kidney infection that I had that had caused a blockage. And at the time, the surgeon that was taking care of me said, had she been born 3 or 5 years earlier, whatever it was, she would have died because this surgery that we're doing on her is brand new. So, how lucky am I that he was there? Dr. Quirk. That was his name. I don't know why I remember that because I was so little, but I do. At any rate, so there was that. And then in my mid-20s, there was a nasty bout with kidney stones that also required surgery. And then there was another bout with kidney stones. So, me and my kidneys, we have been through it. Since I started doing keto, 5 years ago. Did I mention that it was 5 years ago without a break, without a cheat day, without anything that was not keto, at least not intentionally? No kidney stones. My kidney function, according to the blood work that I have had done several times, is perfect. Type 2 diabetes is gone. So one of the things that they tell you to watch for, if you suspect that type 2 diabetes might be a thing for you because it's in your family, or is to watch if you are going to the bathroom. If you're peeing a lot, then your kidneys are working overtime. Maybe you need to get that checked. But none of these things that I was warned about, and I just cannot even tell you how legitimately and honestly concerned this lady was for my well-being. And for the well-being of her friend who was standing there listening to it, and I am reasonably sure that her friend is never going to consider keto. And that's her right. Not my job to convince anybody. So, remember when you hear something that you haven't heard before from someone who is very well-intentioned, who had a friend friend who knew a guy whose next door neighbor's brother had a girlfriend, and her father's great uncle. Yeah, you know what? These stories get so convoluted. It's kind of like the story about the person who wakes up in a bathtub full of ice in a motel room missing a kidney. You can't actually find any legal anything where that ever happened, but it's an urban legend that most of us have heard about. Doesn't make it true. It just means that people like to keep regurgitating things that aren't true to try and scare you. Don't let things scare you. Make an informed decision. That's your job. Make an informed decision. And today we are going to make an informed decision on iced coffee. How much ice do I have here? Well, we've got some coming. Okay, so iced coffee. In my world, iced coffee is an absolutely wonderful thing to have in the summertime. And today is a perfect day for iced coffee because today it is going to be plus 27 Celsius. Plus 27 is 81 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take. So this is going to be a beautiful day for iced coffee. Now, I've had my coffee this morning. I've got a huge Happy Canada Day mug because Canada Day is coming up. My coffee this morning has sugar-free Da Vinci coconut in it. Coconut, another yummy thing to put in your coffee. But this coffee is a regular caffeinated coffee, and because I want to be able to enjoy this a little bit later today without having caffeine this afternoon, I am brewing a pot of decaffeinated coffee. So whether you are using, let's look here. Whether you are using caffeinated coffee or you're using decaffeinated coffee, however that works for you, and however you like to drink your coffee, you can do it exactly the same way, and you can do it in an iced version. And you don't need to go and spend however much it is at your local coffee shop for an iced double decaf latte, whatever. You don't need to do that. You can do this at home, and you can do it much cheaper, and it's going to be much better for you, and it is going to be keto friendly, and it is not going to hurt your kidneys, your liver. It's not going to cause type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndrome, because none of those things are true. Please do your research. And did I mention you should do your research? Okay, so here's what we're doing today. Whatever kind of glass you want to put your iced coffee in, how fancy do you want to feel? Up to you. Bubble tea is also a thing, and bubble coffee can also be a thing, and I think maybe next week we will look at making some bubble tea for summer that is also keto friendly, because those tapioca pearls in bubble tea, not keto friendly, not. Okay, so today we are going to make an iced coffee. What flavor should we use? I mean, it's up to you. If all you have in your house is cream or butter and some vanilla, then you do a vanilla iced coffee. How much vanilla do you put in? How much do you want? Okay, let's just do a simple vanilla iced coffee. And I know I've been talking about the dangers of keto. The dangers of not doing keto. And who should do it and who should not. There are a couple of very rare medical conditions that do preclude someone from doing keto. That is just a fact. And if you are planning on starting keto, one thing that I have said to many people is if you're going to start keto again and you did it already but it didn't work for you, maybe, just maybe, the reason that it didn't work for you is because you didn't have a coach. So you didn't know how to do it properly. And I'm speaking from experience, because when I started doing it, I was doing it wrong. I didn't know what I didn't know. So, you know, there's that. Anyway, so let's make a glass of iced coffee. Now, coffee all by itself is awesome. Coffee with ice in it is going to taste watered down. So let's add 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. The instant coffee is going to bring that pow back up to the top, and it's not going to taste like watered down dishwater. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, and yes, I am not even kidding, it's hot outside, you're going to be sweating, your electrolytes are very possibly going to get all messed up. 1 pinch, poof, salt in your coffee. Are you going to taste it? No, you are not. I promise. Well, if you put too much in, you will. Okay, now that we have the salt and the coffee in there, we are going to pour some coffee in here. And we are going to give it a stir. Now this is just to dissolve the coffee crystals. This is the instant coffee that I'm using. My brain just went on a trip there, but it's back. So it doesn't matter what instant coffee you use. You can use whatever instant coffee you like. But the instant coffee is definitely going to bring the pow back, and you can add as little or as much as you like. You know, when you go to whatever coffee shop you go to and you ask them to make you an iced coffee, you have absolutely no control over how much of what they put in it. But doing it this way at home, it's quick, it's simple. Write this down. It's so easy, and you can do it however you like. Okay, so we have a little bit of coffee in there, and we have a little bit of instant coffee, and we have a little bit of salt, and that is going to taste awful. Unless you like your coffee black, in which case maybe you'll love it. So if this is what does it for you, do it this way. But it's not how I like my coffee. So I'm going to add about 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, make sure when you are buying your vanilla that you're getting real vanilla extract. Do not buy artificial vanilla. That is nasty, nasty stuff, and it's not good for you. And if it isn't real vanilla, what is it? I don't know either. I don't want it. Okay, so we have a little bit of coffee, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of salt, a little bit of instant coffee. We're still working on the ice over there. My ice machine bit the dust. Made me very sad because it's summertime and this is when I use a lot of ice. Okay, now we are going to add a little bit of cream. So about 1 ounce-ish, give or take. Now remember, if you're adding the cream in your food journal, you need to add this in there. And so now we're going to give this a little bit of a stir again. Now, if you want this milkier, you don't want to be putting in a ton of cream. You don't need that much fat. You can add some macadamia nut milk, almond milk. Yeah, that's about it for nut milks. Pardon me. Now, we are going to add a big scoop of ice or 2. And once we get the ice in there, definitely going to want to do a taste test and make sure that it is strong enough. Put this back over here where it belongs. Okay, so now all we've got in here so far is the coffee, the instant coffee, the salt, the vanilla, and the ice. The only thing that is missing is some sweet. Now, this is not approved in Canada. This is allulose. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about sweeteners, and I know we've talked about this before, but it's really important, especially in the summertime when you're going to barbecues and you're going to all of the places and doing the things with the people, and Not all sugar-free sweeteners are keto-friendly. Even if you see them listed as keto-friendly sweeteners, and the one that I am referring to in particular is maltitol. Maltitol is the same as eating sugar. It will set off your sugar cravings. It will drive your blood sugar absolutely through the roof. It can be the downfall of your keto diet. So if you are a sweet addict, as I am, and you're buying things that have maltitol in them because it isn't sugar, so you can eat that, when you're using a new product, and one of the things that I like about Da Vinci is that it uses sucralose, not maltitol, not aspartame, so I'm okay with that. So we're going to do almond in this one, I think. There we go. A little blurb of almond in there. And we'll give it another stir. Now, what kind of sugar-free syrup do you have in your house, or do you? If you don't, and you have erythritol, or you have allulose, or you can use whatever you have to sweeten it where you want it sweetened. You don't put sugar in your coffee, or sweetener of any kind, then you don't need to put it in your iced coffee. Oh, this is nice and cold. Oh my goodness, that is wonderful. And if I had just put this together in a glass without standing here going on about other things, I would have had this done in about 30 seconds. So make sure the ice cube trays in your freezer are full. And if you don't want to take a chance on your iced coffee getting watered down, fill your ice cube trays with coffee. Yes, I said coffee. Do it. You will be so pleasantly surprised. It is an awesome way to have an iced coffee, or you want an iced frappe, you're going to throw it in the blender. How grateful are you that I did not turn a blender on today? Oh, good morning, Dell, from Carrot Creek. I know where that is. So, you don't like cream in your coffee? You don't have to put cream in here. You don't like, I don't know, whatever it is that you don't like, however you want your coffee. If all you want is coffee and ice and you want it cold, then do it your way. Don't do it the way I just did just because I told you to, because this, as well as anything else that's keto, do your research. It is so important. Don't take somebody's word for it that it's good for you, but use some logic too. Really, use some logic. There are scientists and doctors and specialists that are also doctors that are saying intermittent fasting, very important for weight loss and good health. There are the same group of people that are saying the ketogenic way of eating, the ketogenic lifestyle, it is not something that is designed for you to lose weight. You can lose weight doing it, but it's not necessarily going to make you lose weight. You have to do it right. So do some research. Listen to some experts, because your next door neighbor's first cousin's best friend, who has never had any more medical training than listening to her doctor when she goes for an appointment, that would be the doctor that takes absolutely no nutrition training when he's in school. She is not an expert on keto. She's not. And one of the things that I explained to these two ladies that came to see me, we're just going to chat for a couple more minutes while I enjoy this. That is so good. One of the things that I explained to them is that I have done thousands of hours of research. It's true. Now, when I say research, I don't mean that I'm in a lab doing research. I mean I'm doing my own personal research. I'm reading medical studies. I'm taking courses. I am listening to experts in the field. Sometimes they say things that I have to go digging to find out if they know what they're talking about. And on occasion, in my opinion, one detail that they shared in one blog post or one YouTube video or whatever it is not correct. So, if that one detail is not correct, do I just quit doing keto and stop believing anything that anybody says? No. Do your research. What I can tell you about keto is this. The surgeon that did my mom's hip replacement said because she was doing keto and she lost weight doing it, and she put off having a hip replacement for 4 years. 4 years. He said, you are my poster child for how to take care of yourself. There you go. So, use the good sense that you were given. If you start doing keto and you're losing weight and your energy is up and you're feeling amazing and you're getting all kinds of compliments on how you look and how you're sprinting through life, and then one person says, oh my goodness, that thing is terrible that you're doing and you need to stop. You don't just listen to that. They have a right to their opinion, and they might very seriously believe what they're saying. I'm sure they do if it's someone that is coming to you with good intentions. That does not make them correct. At one point in human history, people believed the world was flat, and if you are a flat earther that lives in wherever it is that you live, I am sorry, but you're wrong, in my opinion. So, there's that. But what I do know is this is not going to hurt you. It also is not going to break your fast because there is some fat in here, but there's nothing in here to break your fast. When you're doing intermittent fasting, that doesn't mean you can down a jug of whipping cream. But it is important to point out that what went in that iced coffee is whipping cream. It is not half and half. It is not coffee cream. It is, well, this one is 35% whipping cream. If you can get 38, do that instead. So, that is what I have for you today. And I am very grateful that you stopped in here to say hi. And if you haven't been here before, please say hi in the chat and let me know where you're from. Thank you for being here, and I hope that you will click the like and subscribe and the thumbs up and the bells and all the stuff so that we can hang out here every single Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain, almost every Sunday. I must tell you, last weekend I was not here because I was away at one of my grandson's graduations. He graduated high school. So that was an exciting trip for Grandma and Grandpa to make, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So, do your research and take care of you, and recognize that people who lived before agriculture was a thing did not have type 2 diabetes. They did not have the cancers that we see today. They did not have high blood pressure. They did not have heart disease. They did not have a lot of the diseases that are more symptoms of an unhealthy diet than they are diseases. That's just a thing. So, do your research, figure it out. Please do your very best this week to be your best version of yourself. Reach out to someone that you haven't talked to for a while. Yesterday, I went to a celebration of life for a cousin that I didn't know well, and it really was impactful to me that often we don't take the time to reach out to the people that we need to be reaching out to. It will do as much to enrich your life as it will to enrich theirs, and you can do it while you are doing the safe, appropriate keto diet that will nourish the human body in the way it was meant to be nourished. So, do that and know that I am not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a nurse practitioner. I am someone who has been doing keto for 5 years. My liver, my kidney, my blood sugar, all of those things are spot on. So, do your research. Ask the questions. Don't just see how well it's working and then listen to one person who would like you to be scared. Being scared should not be something that comes easily. I will see you next Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain, and we are going to do bubble tea. Yes, we are. You heard me right. We're going to do bubble tea. So I will see you next Sunday. You don't want to miss it. And yes, I realize we have not done butter chicken yet, and I will get to it. But that graduation last weekend was more important for us.